to get started? Terrific. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We're here today to talk with you about career success, first year tips for first year and beyond. We are the San Jose State SJSU Career Center, and we're going to be talking with you today about our services, our events and resources that we have for our students. And my name is Carrie McKnight. I'm one of the career counselors in the Career Center, and I'm going to be co-presenting today with Christine Bautista. I'll get Christine to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christine, as Carrie had mentioned, career counselor for education and public and human services. So basically, I'm the counselor for College of Social Sciences and College of Education. Thank you for joining us today. And Donna had posted a check-in link. We'll post it from time to time if you want to just fill it out so we can keep in touch with you. And if you have any questions, please type them using the Q&A function.
And then we're also joined by Tricia Gilgis from the Career Center, and she will be helping us monitor your questions as you put them in the Q&A feature. And we will answer questions throughout, and then we will at the very end have a moment to address your questions at that point. So in the meantime, please keep your mics on mute and put your questions in chat, and please fill out the check-in form that Christine had mentioned. And we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation today. Again, we're going to be talking about the Career Center at San Jose State. And here's a little bit about our mission. So we are here to serve our students and to inspire, empower, and connect our students with educators, employers to build the workforce of the future. And one of our visions for our Career Center is that every Spartan, every student emerges from the university, graduates career ready and equipped for lifelong career success. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is our tips and resources for career success. And some of our values that we hold in our Career Center is we value courage, growth, holism, inclusion, and integrity. So that's a little bit about our purpose and our mission here at the university. The next slide. Here's a photo of us outside of our Career Center office on the campus. And we are a mixture of career counselors. We have event planners, operations gurus, and our group also employer relations managers. And we all work together to support our students in terms of your career development, your career plan, during your time with us and beyond. And we also work with our students and our alumni. So our purpose here is to really help you in terms of building your career, gaining some experience, getting ready for your career goals and life after college. And here's a little bit more about our staff. So we are a group of career counselors along with the other professionals that I mentioned in the Career Center. And the career counselors are divided up a little bit how Christine introduced herself. So we all work with the colleges throughout the university, and we are liaisons to the colleges, and we specialize in working with programs and majors throughout the university. So some of the things that we do when we work with students and work with our campus partners and the colleges throughout the university is we help our students with career development during their time with on campus with us and beyond. We help students market their skills and strengths to employers. And we also help our students to get real world experience and develop opportunities and skills while they're a student with us. And at the bottom of this slide, you see photos of our career counseling staff. And again, I'm Carrie. I work with a career counselor. I'm a career counselor for graduate students and alumni, and Christine is here with us. And she already introduced herself, and she works with social science students and education students and beyond. And we have a series of other career counselors that specialize in business and arts and health. We have a career counselor that works with diverse students, with engineering students. We all partner with the colleges and the majors throughout the university. Here's some of the things that we do when we work with our students. So we have a variety of different types of services and resources that we work with our students to help you again with your career plan, your career goals, helping you search for jobs and internships. So here's some of the things that we do with our students. We work with our students individually. So we have appointments with our students, individual career counseling or career coaching with students. Currently, that's done in a virtual format over Zoom, but in the future, we will have one-on-one opportunities for students to meet with us in person. And those appointments can range from anything from exploring careers and majors to setting career goals, to researching employers, organizations, to writing your resume, preparing for job interviews. So one-on-one appointments can be a range of various different ways that we support with and work with our students in an individual way. We also work with students in group sessions. So we have workshops and webinars currently via Zoom, but in the future we will be providing in-person workshops and webinars. And those can range from everything from preparing for job fairs. We have workshops and webinars on resume writing, networking tips, searching for jobs and internships, preparing for interviews. We offer each semester a variety of workshops and webinars. We also go into classrooms. So if you become a student with us, you might see us coming into your classrooms to talk about any of these topics related to job search, career planning, career development. So we work with students in group formats as well. And then the other way that we interact with our students is connecting them to our employers or organizations and companies that we work with. So that could be through job fairs, it could be through employer information sessions. We have virtual job fairs currently every semester. And in the future, hopefully we'll have some in-person opportunities. We have a lot of employers that connect with our students through coming to speak with them for information sessions and participating in our different recruitment events throughout the university. So next slide. So here's some of the other tools and resources that we offer in the Career Center. So in addition to meeting with students individually and providing workshops and presentations and classes and connecting you to our employer partners, we also have a series of what we call our career apps. And these are tools that we subscribe to in the Career Center that our students can utilize to help them with searching for jobs, planning their careers, etc. So this slide gives you a sampling of our top apps and resources that we work with students with. So one of our top tools is Handshake. So this is where we have employers post jobs and internships and volunteer opportunities, including campus jobs as well. So students can go into Handshake, create their profile and search for jobs and internships. Also in Handshake, you can find out about all those events that I just mentioned. So our webinars, our workshops, our job fairs, employer information sessions are all through Handshake. And I mentioned students can have a profile on there where employers can see your profile and information if you're applying to jobs or internships through that platform. So if you become a student with us, so one of the first things we recommend is you go into Handshake and utilize that to find out about the opportunities in terms of jobs, internships, events, et cetera, we have at the university. So this is one of our apps. We also have what's called Focus 2. So this is when we work with our students when you're exploring careers and occupations, exploring majors, and developing your career plan. And we have career assessments in there, as well as opportunities for you to do some occupation research. In addition, we have a resume tool called VMOC, where students can upload their resume to get immediate feedback on their resume in terms of presentation and style and content. We also work individually with students, as I mentioned, to develop your resume and update your resume. VMOC is a tool that you can use through our website. We also have Big Interview, which is our interviewing app that has an opportunity for students to learn a lot about interviewing, preparing for interviewing. Plus, one of the main features is there's a tool within Big Interview where you can actually record yourself doing a mock interview video through the platform. And then finally, we have SJSU Squared mentoring and meetups. And it's a community of our students, alumni, and other professionals who've agreed to connect with our students to support you in terms of, again, career development, career planning, maybe informational interviewing. And we also, part of SJSU Squared, have a formal mentoring program that students can sign up for. So this is sampling, again, of some of the ways that we connect with students, that we support students, and some of the resources that we have to offer in the Career Center. In addition to the apps that I mentioned, we have a series of Career Center guides. So here's a sampling of some of the guides that we have. And these are downloadable PDF printable guides that are available on the Career Center website. So we have a job and internship search guide where students can learn about searching for jobs, tips and resources for networking, attending events, preparing for maybe doing informational interviewing, a lot of tips and resources within the job search guide. We have a resume cover letter guide with samples of resumes by program or major, plus tips and advice about how to put together your resume, and also cover letter guide within there with tips and advice about writing cover letters and samples as well for cover letters and resumes. And we have an interviewing guide. So in addition to the VMOC resume tool and the Big Interview app that I mentioned, we have interviewing guide that has tips about how to prepare for various types of interviews, how to answer common questions, behavioral questions, for example, how to prepare in terms of what to wear to an interview etiquette, all of that within the interviewing guide. We have a few other guides. We have a guide to applying for graduate school. We have a special guide for our graduate students as well. So several different guides are available on our website to support our students with your career plan and your job searches. Next slide. So when we work with students, we focus on these three main areas that you see here in this slide. So this is how we support our students. So when you first come to the university, we suggest you start right away with making an appointment in the Career Center and attending our events with us right away. And one of the things we would work with you on as a new student is helping you explore. So that's the first phase of our career development model and how we work with students. The next phase is build, and the third phase is launch. So for new students, when you're coming as a new student, we work with you to help you explore majors, careers, and do a few other things within the explore phase of your career planning. It's a milestone within your career plan. So explore is when we would advise students to do some career assessments. So that might be assessing your skills, your interests, your personality style, linking your career assessment results in terms of your strengths, your skills, your personality to the world of work and careers, working with students to research career options, researching majors, making final decisions around your majors or minor, for example. And during the early phase, during Explore, we also work with students to help you develop an initial career plan and making some initial decisions around your career. And the next phase we work with students called Build. And within Build, this is where we really focus on helping students build experience while they're a student at the university. So it's really important for students to gain some professional experience, practical experience, and build skills while you're a student. So we would help students, again, work on identifying skills and strengths, what ways to build experience, build up your resume, build those skills, develop a professional network, and connecting students to opportunities to build experience. So it could be through curricular activities, co-curricular activities, internships, volunteering, campus jobs, making sure you're connected to those opportunities to help you build experience. And then from that phase, really stepping you into launch. And launch your career is, go to the final stage when you're working through your career plan. And this is when you're actively searching for jobs and internships, you're developing your personal brand, like your resume, your LinkedIn profile, career portfolios, helping to expand your professional network, connecting you to employers, as I mentioned, through our job fairs or information sessions and other opportunities we have for you to meet our employer partners and companies, organizations we work with, and really helping you finalize your career plan and launch your career and take the next step into action into the next phase of your career. So we'll go to the next slide. So we'll talk a little bit more about how we work with students in those three main phases or milestones within your career development. So again, those explore, build, launch. So when we are working with students in the explore phase, here are some top tips and tools that we use when we're working with our students to help you get started. Again, when you're a new student and you're thinking about different opportunities, how you might want to use your degree, your major, looking at various options and occupations and careers and industries. So one of the main tools, as I already mentioned, is we have career counseling, individualized career counselings with students. We offer a series of different career assessments. So those, again, are things like personality assessments, interest inventories, skills inventories. We also have another guide. In addition to the guides I already mentioned, we have a major and career exploration guide to help step you through the process of exploring careers and majors and making a plan for yourself of what careers you want to pursue. What are some of your goals or aspirations? We have a guide to help you through that process. And finally, we have another tool called What Can I Do with This Major? And this connects over 85 college majors to careers and occupations within various industries, plus strategies of how to enter those industries or career fields. So those are the tools that we offer to our students to help you explore your options. And some of our top tips for new students: explore and research a variety of careers and occupations, take some of the assessments that I mentioned for self-discovery, and then test out majors and minors through activities or electives to help you finalize your decisions around your major or your minor. I'll go to the next slide. So now we're going to shift a little bit, talk more about build. So that was the next phase of the career development model that I shared. How do we work with our students to help you build experience? So I'm going to start here with a question. Is this a myth or a reality? I only need to focus on my academic performance to improve my chances of career success. So again, we're focusing today on how we support our students in terms of career success. So do you think that it's important to just focus on your academics to improve your chances when you're thinking about career success? So you can pop in your thoughts on that. And then the answer is actually employers, and we work a lot of different employers, and they are looking for students that they really value students that have varied experience that supplement your academic experience. So again, those that can be some of the things I mentioned in the build phase. So extracurricular activities, internships, part-time jobs, campus jobs, volunteering, student clubs and organizations, getting active in the campus community. Those are all ways that you can build experience that our employers, our companies, organizations that we work with really value in our students, that you have a varied level of different types of experiences in your resume and your LinkedIn profile to demonstrate your skills and strengths. So we'll talk a little bit more about within build. So we're working with students to help you build experience, build your resume, get prepared for the next phase of your career plan. Here's some of the tools that we work with our students with. So we have Handshake that I mentioned, where you can go in and look for jobs, internships, campus jobs, opportunities to connect with employers to build your experience. We also have a Build Experience Action Plan on our website. It's a checklist yearly plan where students can focus on what they want to do each year to make sure they're building skills and building experience that are connected to their career goals. We have a skills inventory to help you keep track of your current skills and other skills that you might want to develop while you're a student. Students at San Jose State have access to LinkedIn Learning courses. You might want to think about taking online courses while you're a college student to develop additional skills while attending the university. And then I already mentioned our internship search guide, which is one of our tools to help you build experience, tips on how to find internships. And some of our top tips for students building experience while they're students is taking part-time jobs, summer jobs, campus jobs, off-campus jobs, interning, volunteering. Getting involved in student clubs and organizations is a great way to build leadership ability, leadership skills, connecting with other students or alumni through clubs or organizations, and perhaps participating in like contests or competitions that we offer through students throughout the university, like hackathons, for example, might be another way to build experience. So this is some of our top tips and tools to help our students build experience. So when we go into the next phase, this is launch. This is launch your career. So this is after you've explored options, you've built your skills and experience, and you're ready to take your next step into launching your career and launching your job or internship searches. So we have another myth or reality question here. So the question is, the statement is, my first job will determine my career. So do all of you think that your first job will determine your career for the rest of your life? So you can think about that and let us know what you think and put your responses in. And then we will go ahead and, okay, I see some no's, some myths. Okay, fantastic. So the answer then is, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average person may hold up as many as 12 jobs in a lifetime. Also, 3 to 5 different careers, actual different careers. So this means that your first job does not necessarily determine your career for the rest of your life, but it is important to prepare for that first job. So you want to make sure that first job gives you opportunities for growth, for professional development, to continue to build your skills and strengths. So we really want to focus on having you start out your first job as something rewarding and satisfying that you can grow from there. But your first job doesn't necessarily determine your career throughout the rest of your life. It's a launch pad to help you get started with your career. And we want to help you make that first step ready and prepared when you graduate from San Jose State. So in terms of tools and tips when working in the launch your career phase or milestone when we're connecting with our students, we have our Handshake that I already mentioned. That's our key launch tool to help you connect with our employers, to find those jobs and internships and other opportunities. Make sure you're utilizing Handshake while you're a student to find those opportunities. Again, we have the career coaching and career counseling to help students launch their career. The job search guides that I mentioned have lots of tips and tools in there to help students finding jobs and researching companies or organizations. We have the apps that I mentioned, and then we have annual job fairs. So every semester we have anywhere from 8 to 10 job fairs focused on various different programs or majors. So we have a job fair for STEM students, we have job for business students, we have job fairs for education students, health students. So we have a series of fairs throughout each academic year to help you connect to employers to launch your career. And here's some top tips to help you with kind of kicking off your career while you're a student. It's really important to grow your professional network. That's sort of ongoing while you're a student. We work with our students to make sure that you're connecting with alumni and other professionals in your industry or career field of choice to build up that network while you're a student. Also, top tip is making sure you're always updating and developing your resume, your cover letters, your LinkedIn profile. We work with students to develop all of those materials and profiles, career portfolios, making sure you keep that up to date and targeted and customized to the careers and industries that you're seeking. We help students with interviewing practice. That's something really important to do while you're a student. Get prepared for your job interviews, your internship interviews. And then we work with students to make sure you start early. So you're working through the time you're a student, exploring your options, building skills and experiences, and then getting ready to launch your career when you graduate. We suggest that students start early to get ready for that next phase of life after college. Okay, so those are our kind of top tips and tools around the phases of career development that we focus on when we're working with students. I just want to mention a little bit more about Handshake, because that is, again, one of our most important apps and probably used most often by our students. So once you're a student at San Jose State, you are automatically imported into the Handshake system. And it's a matter of finding yourself in there, updating the profile there. And this is where you can use our database to connect with employers, to find out about opportunities, full-time jobs, part-time jobs, volunteer opportunities. There's some features in there to help you sort through and filter through the opportunities, and using keywords, for example, and then also finding employer events and job fairs that I mentioned. So it's one of our most important tools that once you become a student, we advise you to get into Handshake and start utilizing and become familiar with it, so you can use that well during the time that you are with us at the university. Okay, and then our last, the next slide here is, again, I've mentioned it's really important while you're a student to develop skills and experiences for your resume, for your portfolios, to help you get clarity about where you want to go with your career. And one way you could do that is by working on the campus. So we have a lot of opportunities at the university for our students to have part-time jobs with us. So those could be work study jobs or non-work study jobs. So work study would be part of federal financial aid. If you qualify for federal financial aid, you might have work study as your package. And that'd be something you could find out about through contacting financial aid at the university, and their email address is here on the slide. So we have opportunities for students to do work study, or also non-work study positions throughout the university. So mentioned here are some of the departments where our students might work. That could be Spartan shops, university housing, the student union, the event center, the career center. We hire students to work with us every year, and various academic office, administrative offices throughout the university, where students can gain experience with working at the campus. And again, those are posted on Handshake, and you can check those out once you're a student. And if you have questions about work study, we suggest you start with financial aid to find out if you qualify. They can give you more information, and once you know if you qualify, then we can help connect you to apply for those positions at the universities. Again, we have non-work study and work study opportunities for our students. It's been a little bit different right now during the pandemic in terms of opportunities, but we're opening up more and more as time progresses, and other opportunities will be available in the fall semester. So this slide is just to share with you about the companies and organizations that the Career Center works with. And we have a lot of relationships with organizations and companies here in the Silicon Valley and the Bay Area, beyond, nationally as well. So this slide highlights some of our top employers and our employer partners. So you can see those include Google, includes Cisco and Apple and Facebook and Oracle, and many of the top names here in Silicon Valley and beyond. This is just a sampling of the types of organizations that we work with. We're very proud of the employer partnerships and relationships that we have at the Career Center to help connect our students with many different types of opportunities, from internships to part-time jobs to full-time career opportunities when you graduate. Beyond what's mentioned here in this slide, we also work with a number of nonprofit organizations, school districts, city government, local government, and beyond. So this is a sampling of some of our top employers and our employer partners that work with us frequently in terms of coming to our events and connecting with our students for maybe interviewing opportunities or job fairs or information sessions. So just want to share with you some of the partnerships and relationships that we have built and with the Career Center. So now I'm going to connect over to Christine, who's going to pick up and share some more information with you. Thanks, Christine.
Okay, thanks, Carrie. So, so how can you get started, right? Like as soon as you are on campus and ready to go, you know, you want to be thinking about, you know, the major or career goal that you have that genuinely interests you, right? So this will help you be set up for career success. So once you're enrolled, you have access to all of our apps. You know, start with Focus 2. It's an online assessment tool. It's really like helping you figure out what your preferences are, you know, help you to learn more about yourself. It's not a test, so there are no right or wrong answers. It's just really a tool that will be helpful for you to get some ideas, to help you get to know more about yourself and what your interests are. And then the next thing you do, I mean, Carrie has mentioned this so many times in her portion of the presentation. Handshake is your #1 tool, I think, in addition to searching for jobs or internships. Sometimes there's also volunteer opportunities posted there. We actually use Handshake as the tool that facilitates our virtual fairs. So you can register on Handshake for virtual fairs and actually use the system to meet with an employer virtually. So they have their own video camera and audio, and you could meet them through the platform. And then also you could connect with alumni or other professionals. So SJSU Square Mentoring and Meetups is an online mentoring platform. There are several features to it, but for someone who is maybe exploring, the best feature to use would be the quick connections. And basically in quick connections, you can reach out for like a one-time career conversation with an alumni who is working in a field of interest. So let's say, you know, you're a psychology major and you're like, you like the idea of studying psychology, you're interested in psychology, but you have no clue what to do with it after you graduate. So maybe going on quick connections, finding an alumni who graduated with a psychology degree and learning the possible career paths that someone in that major could pursue, right? So you could find people to connect with and learn from through SJSU Square. So just a reminder for first year students, these are some resources. Again, maybe someone should have taken a tally of how many times we mentioned SJSU Handshake. Again, it's like your go-to app for your career readiness. There's job postings, as Carrie had mentioned, for all types of on-campus jobs, whether it's work study, non-work study, part-time internships. And again, Focus 2 is your online assessment to help you with, you know, learning more about your personality preferences and interests and related majors and occupations. There are events for first-year students. We have part-time job fairs. It's usually the first fair in the semester. So it would be, I don't know, in the fall, maybe like sometime in end of August or early September. And there's also the Leadership and Career Conference, where students can connect with campus leaders, employers, and alumni to develop skills such as leadership, communication, and collaboration skills. And it's usually held around October, so it's offered in the fall semester. So watch out for it. It's a pretty good event. Okay, so now we're at the review portion of our session today, and then we will move on to question and answer. So if you could just type in your answer, there will be options that will appear. So the first question is, when should you first visit the Career Center, the SJSU Career Center? So is it in your first, second, last semester, or never? So you could just put first, you could put second, you could put last, or you could put never. So if you could type it in the chat box. I want to see what people, yes, so I'm seeing first. Let's see what the answer is. So yes, the first semester. So the sooner that you're able to meet with us, you know, the more time we have to help you. it's hard. I mean, we still help people who come in, 2 weeks before they graduate, but time is not on our side to help you, right? But if you come in, in your freshman year or your first year here at San Jose State and tell us what you want to do, we have more time to work with you and help you strategize and, help you with your career plan. So the sooner you're able to meet with us, the better. So the next question is, building professional experience starts after you graduate. So is that a fact or a myth? And you can just type in fact or myth, whichever your answer is. Okay, so I'm seeing myth. So let's see the answer. So yes, it is a myth, right? Like you can build experience in many ways. Carrie had given you some examples earlier when she was walking through the build experience section, right? So volunteering, joining contests, internships, there's so many ways to build experience. And then which resource does the SJSU Career Center provide? So exploring majors, resume, cover letter, job and internship search, or interviewing practice. And the answer might not be here. So you can come up with your own answer. So which resource does the SJSU Career Center provide? Yes, so it is all, as Carrie had walked us through earlier. These are all the things that we can help you with. And then now we're at the question and answer portion. So I'm going to call on Trisha to tell us, like, if there are any questions that you'd like for us to answer. And maybe you can choose which between the two of us, Trisha, who you want to answer. You can ask Carrie or myself, or we can answer both.
Well, here's a question that actually I can answer. Can we start using Handshake right now or for this summer? And the answer to that question is once you've committed to San Jose State and you've fully enrolled in your classes, it usually takes about a week after full enrollment in classes that you will gain access to Handshake. So that is the answer to that question. The next question. Christine, it says, I am a freshman. When can I start interning for a company?
That is a good question. I think it will depend on each company. The key is to look at their job description. So there are some opportunities where they just say, as long as you're enrolled in college, you're able to apply for their opportunity. But there are some internship opportunities, especially for like more specialized fields, right? Like engineering or whatnot, where you might really have be required to take specific classes, that it might require you to be like a certain level, right? Like they might want you to be either a sophomore or junior and might have taken some of the, classes that are needed to help you perform at your work. So the answer to that is basically, it depends, right? So, but I have seen opportunities that it's open to all levels. So the key is, to go on Handshake and then search for internships. And again, like I said, as a freshman, as long as the company says they're open to all levels, you should be fine.
Okay, excellent. Here's another question that I'm going to answer because it kind of goes along with the first one. I've tried logging into Handshake, but it says SJSU has not approved my account. Who do I contact to get it approved? So the first thing I'm going to say is once you are committed to San Jose State, we will create a Handshake account for you automatically. If you do create your own, it actually causes a delay in your actual school account being approved. So please do not create an account in Handshake. One will be created for you automatically. The school will not be approving accounts that are made prior to that. So there's nobody to contact. You'll just have to wait until after you have enrolled in all of your classes, and then you'll gain access after that point. And the next question, Carrie, I submitted my intent to enroll. When can I start utilizing all of these career resources?
I think it's similar to, Handshake. So once you've committed to San Jose State and you are coming to the university, you will have access to the resources like the apps, like the Big Interview and the VMOC through your single sign-on through the university. But I think that's after you are enrolled to university. But you can always reach out to us until you're enrolled over the summer if you have any questions. And We'll be sharing with you our contact information. If you wanted to connect with us, we could maybe answer a few questions for you. We do have some resources on our website that are open for anyone to access. So we can share with you which of those are available, and the others would be once you've committed or enrolled with the university. So it sort of depends on the resource.
Okay, and this can be for either one of you. What kind of job opportunities will I be eligible for as an international student?
I can try answering. It depends. I mean, for international students, you are able to work on campus. And in terms of off-campus opportunity, it has to be part of your curriculum, right? That's called this CPT, curricular practical training. So in terms of like specifics around that, I would consult with your international student advisor, just so that understanding the eligibility requirements for those types of opportunities. Anything you want to add to that, Carrie?
I think that covers it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. What kind of paid internships are most common for students?
Now, do we know what's most common? I mean, that's a little bit hard to know. I mean, I think that there's some trends maybe within industries, maybe tech or business, finance, for example, that might possibly have more opportunities for paid internships. But I think it really kind of varies. It's hard to say for sure. I mean, I guess I could answer it this way. We want our students to have paid internships. So that's what we really work with you to find those opportunities. So, but there might be a little bit more in terms of possibly like engineering or tech or business. It comes to mind for me, but I would not say that's 100%.
Okay. The next one, I don't know if we have an answer to this. What major has the highest salary?
Oh. We might have some information on that. I think it might sort of mirror what I just said about paid internships in a sense, where there might be some trends more towards students in engineering and tech, possibly in terms of salaries, but I think you could probably look at just salaries of occupations in general, and then get a sense of what programs or majors would lead an individual into those occupations. We mentioned Focus 2 as one of our resources to help students research salary information. Plus, we have other resources for that. So, that's some research you could do in occupation research and connect that back to majors. Also, I mentioned we have this system called What Can I Do with This Major that connects majors to occupations. That might be a good resource to find out what majors are connecting to these careers that I might be interested in, and then look at the salary data information for those.
Okay, perfect. Do you change internships each year, or can you be in the same one for more than 1 year?
Oh, do you want to? Okay. So usually internships are approximately like 3 to 6 months. So it's usually during a semester, like a fall or spring or summer internships. So usually there's a period of time where it's a start date and end date. It's possible if you start an internship maybe in the summer, they might rehire you to come back for a fall internship, but typically it's about 3 to 6 months opportunity.
Yeah, and I think it also, you want to take note, there's a difference between the company's requirement versus what your program might require, right? So some majors, it's part of their requirement that you complete an internship, right? So it could be like fall or an academic year, but then maybe on the employer side, it could also be, they want you to stay longer if maybe your program just requires you to stay 6 months. So there's, those kinds of things to also consider.
Okay, perfect. This is actually one I can answer. When do we start enrolling for classes for fall 2021? So I do know that transfer students will begin to start enrolling in classes in mid-May. However, Frosh students, you actually meet with an academic advisor during your orientation time, and that's when you start enrolling in classes. Okay, and the next one. Can I change my major before I submit the intent to enroll, or is it too late? That
That-
might be an admissions question,
Yeah,
but
I
I would
think-
imagine it's too late at this point, but
Mhm.
I would redirect that question to the admissions office for sure to confirm.
Yeah, but I wouldn't worry too much about it because I mean, a lot of, there's a good number of people who do change their mind once they're in their freshman year. I mean, because in your freshman year, you're mostly taking general ed classes anyway, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But yes, like you can explore that as soon as you're able to. And you want to consult with your academic advisor. Just wanted to clarify that because like I think for a community college, your counselor both acts as your academic advisor and your career counselor. But at San Jose State, we have distinct roles. So in terms of selecting classes, registration, and all that, that would be more of an academic advisor. And we're really more about helping you with your career readiness.
Okay, perfect. Would you be able to provide popular part-time jobs students can do on campus?
Yeah, I think it was sort of that slide where I mentioned some departments for students work. So I mentioned housing and residential life, the library, academic offices, administrative offices, Spartan shops, the student union. There's food court in there. So those are some of the popular areas on the campus. But as I mentioned, there's a variety of opportunities throughout the university. And we have just a couple more minutes, like we had a couple more slides to go through. Are there other questions that we?
There's quite a few, but I can answer them offline if you want to go through your slides.
There are one or two others that Trisha, you feel we should address at this point?
There's one that I can answer, and the question is do you provide services that help with headshots for LinkedIn profiles? And the answer to that is yes, we typically do. Will we be providing that this semester? We're not 100% sure. We do offer LinkedIn headshots as well as a professional career closet where students can come in and choose a free professional outfit once an academic year, and that's theirs to keep for interviewing or for whatever purpose they need it for. We are in the works of trying to put something together on how these services will work for the fall semester, so definitely stay tuned and we will have updates for that on our website. And well, let's do one last one. Are there nonprofit organization internships?
Short answer, yes. You can SJSU Handshake to look
Yeah.
for opportunities.
Yeah, so we have a variety of, as I mentioned, organizations that we work with, nonprofits, school districts, for-profit, large companies, small companies. We have a wide range of opportunities and employers and organizations that we work with and partner with to help our students find an opportunity that is a good fit for you. Okay, thank you, Trisha, for the questions. I think Trisha was maybe going to finish answering a few in chat. Did you want to share? Okay.
So yeah, so I don't know why it clicked by itself. I know. Let me just double check that I don't know what happened here. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Here in the questions page, so we tried to answer all of your questions. If you have follow-up questions, please email us at careerhelp@sjsu.edu, or you can click the chat button on our website. So as you can see the arrow here, there are Career Center representatives available to speak with you from Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 5 p.m. And then, I think we're slowly going to be going back in person. So if you want to see us in person, we will be located at the administration building. So this is just a map of where we're at. And we are also on social media. So we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you want to follow us, we have a lot of recorded events on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see what employers like Google or other employers say about any insights that they have, we have this playlist called Employer Insights. Those are pretty interesting events to watch, but there are other events there too that I would encourage you to look at. And I think that's it. This is our last slide.
Thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate you joining us today. This session is recorded, and you can check when the admitted Spartan days, your contact information will be available, I think, with them. They will share the recordings with you. So you can check back there. And I want to check, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Christine and Tricia, for co-presenting with me today and helping answering questions today. We appreciate you joining us. We hope to see you in the fall, and enjoy the rest of the events as part of Admitted Spartan Days. Thanks again. Thank you. We'll stay on just for a moment here. If there are any other questions or comments that are coming up, and
Yeah, I think there's still some questions, and I'll try to answer them live. And I don't know if there's still any while they're
okay.
here.
Anyone needs to run to another session, again, thank you for joining us. We'll stay on a couple minutes to address any of the remaining questions.
There's a question here, and I don't know if Anna is still here, but the question is how important is joining clubs? And should I put all my focus, or should I put all of my focus in trying to find internships? So I guess there's a question, which one is more important? And I would say they're all equally important. I think I would focus more on which of these opportunities will allow you to build related or transferable skills that's important to whatever opportunity you're seeking. And there's a question here, my major is music education. Is there anything out there for me? I would think there is. I would recommend that you speak with one of us, with the career counselors, to help you strategize on how to search for those opportunities. And that's it. I don't think we have any other
I
questions.
think that was it, yeah.
Oh, I think I got the rest of them.
Okay, great, thank you again. I guess I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and okay, thank you.